Have you been thinking about upgrading and buying a lens for your camera? One of the most common and affordable lenses is a normal focal length prime lens. In this video, I'm going to compare the Canon M50 kit lens to one of these lenses and look at the pros and cons of each. Now this comparison will focus mainly on the Canon M50 body, but it should apply to most cameras. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get started. For a quick introduction of the kit lens, this is the Canon EF-M 15-45. It has an aperture of f3.5 to 6.3. The other lens that we're talking about is the Canon EF 50mm 1.8 STM. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the usability of these. The first thing I want to talk about is low light, which is an area that the kit lens really struggles with. Even at the widest aperture on this, it's only 3.5, which isn't that open. Because it is a zoom lens, it can get up to 45mm, but at that point, the aperture only opens up to f6.3, which lets even less light in. The 50mm, on the other hand, is wonderful for low light. The aperture is f1.8, so it gathers a lot more light than the kit lens. This means that when there's not much light available, 50mm is going to very easily outperform the kit lens. The f1.8 aperture that makes this so good for low light situations also causes it to have a much shallower depth of field. This means bokeh is going to look really good on the 50mm. Even at the lowest setting on the kit lens, 3.5mm is not going to give you that beautiful bokeh look that the 1.8 on the 50mm will. That brings me to the versatility of each of these. Now with the 50mm, you're kind of locked into that one single look because it is a prime lens. If that look is something that you want, it does an incredible job. But the zoom capabilities on the kit lens is something I just keep coming back to. It kind of fits my style of shooting better because I like having the versatility of focal lengths without having to change the lens. Now if I know I'm going to be shooting portraits or low light or something like that, the 50mm is what I'm going to take with me 100% of the time. But if I'm not sure exactly what I'm shooting, I'm just going out for fun, I'm taking the kit lens. Alright, with usability out of the way, let's talk about price. And this is where it gets a little bit more specific to the Canon M50, but you can still see the price differences in these two. The 50mm costs $125, give or take. The problem is, on the Canon M50, it requires an EF-M to EF adapter. And that adapter can cost anywhere from $40 to $100. That brings the total anywhere from $165 to $225. Now the kit lens, if you're just buying the kit lens, it's $300. It is nice because you don't have to worry about an adapter or anything like that, but that's still pretty pricey. The lowest I could find it used was around $150, but if you got it with your camera, I believe it's $100 extra or something like that. And one more problem with the kit lens is if you're thinking about upgrading your camera body, it's not going to work on anything with a sensor bigger than APS-C, whereas the 50mm probably will. So with all of that out of the way, it's hard to determine a winner. In my mind, the 50mm is a great lens to pair with the kit lens. If you're only looking to purchase one of these lenses, I gotta give it to the kit lens, I think. The versatility of the zoom lens is just a deal breaker for me. I would strongly suggest getting both of these though, especially if you already have the kit lens with your Canon M50 or a kit lens with any of your cameras. I would say go for the 50mm. For the kit lens that comes with the M50, it gives you a little bit of a longer focal length, which is a pretty nice change. And it also gives you that low light capability and the nice looking bokeh. Now in my mind, I think that these two complement each other with their strengths and weaknesses. This one has a lot of versatility in terms of getting different focal lengths, and this one has a lot of versatility in terms of low light. Balance each other out very well. If you would be interested in seeing a 50mm versus 24mm, which is what I'm shooting with right now, let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. If you want to see other videos like this one, I have already made a 24mm versus kit lens video. I'll link that either in the description or on the screen somewhere. And if you really did enjoy, please subscribe. I would appreciate that very much. See you next time.